Introduction, how many of you are currently unit commissioners or are commissioner anywhere? So you have 3 over here. Okay, Chuck is, both of you over here. Okay, are any of you different than unit commissioner? Are any of you roundtable or district?
I've had to run
You have been roundtable. Okay, Chuck?
Assistant counsel.
You're council commissioner or assistant ACC? Fantastic. Okay.
It used to be DC.
You used to be
Yeah,
it used to be DC. That's right. That's right.
I got fired.
You moved. Best way to leave a calling, move out of state, right? Yeah. So we met Scott. Underneath him are the territory commissioners. Does everybody know what national service territory they're in? What national service territory is Utah in?
West 2, right?
It might be. I don't know. I'm in NST3, which is California Hawaii.
W2.
2. Okay.
It's on the wood badge thing, right? W2.
No, it's not wood badge related. This is pretty new.
Is there a graphic?
Utah's 2. Okay, thank you. Is Colorado also 2?
Yes.
Okay, you guys are all together.
Is there a graphic that shows?
Not at all. That's interesting.
Level
They changed that. Changed about maybe 11, 12 months ago. It all changed to national service territories, NSCs. Okay. So find that out. That's your group that you're in. Underneath the territory commissioners, the council commissioners, that's the role that I've got in San Diego. Every council has one council commissioner. I had been groomed for this role for several years before I got tapped on January 1st. As they talked about, your good recruiting, you identify your successor on day 1. We all should be doing that wherever we are in our role in scouting, be thinking about succession plans. The thing I learned as council commissioner, I knew I was just responsible for the 97 unit commissioners that I had and ACCs and DCs that were underneath me, but I didn't realize that the council commissioner is also the key advocate to the council for all volunteers in the council. So scoutmasters, anybody else who's a volunteer, if they've got a gripe, they come to me. Now, I would preface that by saying I don't want to be the complaint box. So if you come to me with an issue, I'll also come with a solution if you can. But I do want to know the pulse of the pulse of scouting in my council, how people, what the attitudes are. So last time at Roundtable, I just opened it up. I said, what's keeping you up? We do virtual roundtables in San Diego. The entire council's on one roundtable. And I said, put in chat, what's keeping you up at night from a scouting perspective? And I got 36 different hits. It was real and influential. And then I took that and I briefed the board of directors of San Diego Council on what's keeping our volunteers up at night. And it was interesting. Bankruptcy was the lowest thing on the list. I think it's so far in the rearview mirror. But recharter was huge. Training was huge. The big retention was huge. Membership, volunteer, getting new volunteers. And right now in San Diego, our big deal is charters. I talked about this, charter partners. So council commissioner, advocate for everyone. Underneath the council is district commissioners. They may have assistant district commissioners. Back when we were with the church, there was an LDS ADC for each district. There should have been at least. And that would typically be the stake young men's president, but it could be the stake young men's president could also be the district commissioner. Sometimes the primary president would fill some of these roles too. Underneath the district commissioner would be the unit commissioners. They would administer and support units and unit leaders. Then there's 2 smaller roles, new unit commissioner, roundtable commissioner. We're going to dive down into some of these right now. Let's go to the next slide. All right, the district commissioner leads the commissioner staff of the district. Usually they'll have between 10 and 20 district unit commissioners that they work with. A unit commissioner will have typically 3 units they're responsible for. They're supposed to meet with that unit 6 times a year and do at least 1 detailed assessment. The detailed assessment is about an hour-long interview, and it can be done over the phone, where you meet with the committee chair and maybe the institutional head, maybe a scoutmaster, and talk with them about the health of the unit. It's a JTE interview, if you want to think about it that way. If the scoutmaster is on top of JTE, he can easily do the detailed assessment. There's a nominating committee that makes this happen. Okay, ADCs are basically subsets underneath the DC to do maybe geographical areas or religious groups that are significant charter partners in that area. Okay, we can go to the next slide. Friend, coach, counselor, we talked about that. This is what the unit commissioners do. They're an aid to the charter organization. Technically, they're supposed to present formally the charter to the institutional head every year. Oftentimes, that's not done. Sometimes it just comes with a Ziploc bag at the end of the year with maybe some ribbons you won during the prior year. This is a tough one. Operates quietly, generally in the background. We don't want the type A personalities to come in and tell the unit how they're supposed to do their job. Instead, they should sit back, observe, and then maybe quietly whisper, hey, this might be something you can consider, or be a resource that you can call upon if they want to know where to go camping, for example, or how to fill out this form, or whatever comes up in scouting. They're kind of like the ombudsman to help the unit be effective. And help the charter, help that organization recharter. This is more difficult now that we're not in the church. It's not just a simple thing as it was in the past, so it's important to learn how to do this. But fortunately, it's all online now, so it's a little more efficient. Okay, next slide. All right, this will be my last slide. There is a huge pool of talent out there in the church of people who have scout shirts hanging in their closet. Maybe they haven't been involved in scouting for 3 years, maybe even 5 or 10 years or longer. But they've got a wealth of knowledge. They are perfect folks to be unit commissioners. So if you find that either your unit doesn't have a unit commissioner or you're in a council or district level and you have a dearth of them, consider recruiting Latter-day Saints. My prior presentation was on recruiting adults. We kind of focused on recruiting adults to create units, but you can also recruit adults to, maybe they don't want to go camping. Maybe they're stage of life where they'd rather just share wisdom, be a friend, and advocate and coach. And so this role as a unit commissioner is perfect.
What's the guesstimate of hours a week or a month that?
Oh, it's always 1 hour a week, isn't
It's only
it?
down a week.
No, that's
No,
is it 10
I'm
or 20
teasing.
or what is it?
Yeah, typically, so if you think about doing 3 unit contacts, 6 unit contacts a year for 3 units, that'd be 18 visits. So that would be approximately,
27 hours.
yeah, okay. If you did, so it's probably 2 or 3 hours a week, a month, 2 or 3.
That's probably what I would say. It depends on how many units you have and how active you want to be, because usually you're going to go to the district committee meeting, which will happen once a month. So that's 1 hour.
Okay.
And then one or 2 visits.
I've gone camping with my unit as unit commissioner. It's rare, but you can.
You did that in the winter. It was like
And round table.
Klondike.
Yeah, or round table. Yeah, so round table. So there's probably 2 hours for district committee meeting, and then 1 for round table, and then for 1 or 2 hours
For visits, so 5 hours a month. Plus, when you do a visit, you need to log it in. Now, you can log it in on your phone, so it's pretty easy. That used to be you'd have to do it.
But in this environment, we're still having our district meetings, that 3 hours, 3.5 hours you speak of, on Zoom. So you could be doing other things while you're doing that.
like the stair
Yeah.
climber.
I'd probably say typically 3 to 5 hours a month, depending on how much workload you have. So it was probably good for you, Commissioner, and such that. Well, these are the exceptions to the rules.
So probably some names just came to your mind as we brought this topic. Write those names down, go back and take action on it. We need to expand our pool of volunteers who are friendly to scouting and want to promote it. And that's all I wanted to share. Thank you very much.